I wanted to get recruited in 2026 as a high school baseball player. This is exactly what I would do. And guys, I played 7 years of professional baseball between the St. Louis Cardinals and San Diego Padres, and myself, I went through the college recruiting process, landed multiple D1 offers, and finally found a scholarship to go play at NC State University. And inside my academy, we've helped over 200 high school baseball players play at that next level. And you're definitely gonna wanna stick around and see the end, because the last step is actually what's gonna move the needle for these college coaches to call up your son. So first off, you guys probably feel like it's not even 2026. Some of you guys are still stuck in the yearbook of 2025, and sometimes it doesn't even feel real yet. It's 2026. When you're writing dates on contracts and things like that, it doesn't feel like it's 2026 yet, but it is. And recruiting has already started, even if you don't feel the pains or the pressure of getting that process started for your son. And I'm gonna shoot you guys straight. Recruiting has already started, whether you wanna admit it or not. And in this video, I'm gonna go over the 4 steps that you really need to be understanding if you wanna get the attention from college coaches for your son. And number 1 really starts off with knowing your window. Number 2 is building the right tools that college coaches actually want to see. Number 3 is building a target list for schools, so that way it makes the outreach system of step 4 that much more intentional and efficient. So let's talk about number 1, the recruiting window, because a lot of high school baseball players, parents, coaches, they are giving you so much terrible advice. It kind of hurts me when I hear families talk about the misunderstanding that's happening so commonly in high school baseball. So first and foremost, the August 1st of your junior year, that's when a lot of people will think college recruiting has officially begun. But in full reality, guys, college baseball coaches have already built up a pipeline of players as early as freshman year, of players that actually have what it takes to play at that college level, maybe even their sophomore or junior year of high school, right? They're that much more developed, they're that much more polished. And those are the college coaches that are going to be drooling over acquiring those players when it comes to junior and senior year. But they still have those pipelines created for years to come, for the freshmen, for the sophomores. I've even seen it, and I've had a couple conversations with college coaches, even for 8th graders. They know that they're on the map, they're in the pipeline, but as far as having that active conversation with them or showcasing real strong interest, it's not a priority for these college coaches. So knowing your window is really, really important, and I see a lot of people not understanding the window. So I want to explain to you guys the NCAA rule of August 1st of your junior year. This is when a lot of people think that we can communicate with college coaches, when yes, that's partially right, but most importantly, the rule is written that these college coaches can now officially contact and initiate the conversation with your son August 1st of his junior year. But before August 1st, this is when we can initiate those conversations, no questions asked, right? So keep that in mind. Are you building that opportunity for your son to be able to be inside the pipeline for some of these college coaches, or are you just waiting around for August 1st of junior year to get these processes started? So step number 2, we want to be making sure that we're building the right tools for these college coaches to be interested in our son, right? So if your son is basically just focusing on his glove, if he's just focusing on this tool or that tool, this is where he could be shooting himself in the foot, because as we all know, there are 5 tools in baseball. And if you're not aware, I'm going to tell it to you, because that's the exact reason you're listening to my videos right now, is because you want to get educated, you want to get that knowledge on how to go about the college recruiting process, development, and mindset. So real quick, guys, I've got something special for you, for all being loyal watchers here on YouTube. I built a step-by-step free course called the 7 Steps on how to reach out to college baseball coaches the right way. It's for parents of uncommitted sophomores through seniors who want a real roadmap instead of guessing. Inside, I show you how overlooked players land offers, how to write the right email, how to use my exacts template, building that right school list, and how to personalize, send, follow up, and stay organized. It's simple, it's structured, and it works. So go ahead and grab it down below in the description or at MendozABaseballAcademy.com/7 steps. That's MendozABaseballAcademy.com/7 steps. The 5 tools: hitting for power, hitting for contact, running abilities, fielding abilities, and arm strength, right? And a lot of people will, group in a sixth tool, right? Which is really your baseball IQ. It's the intangibles. It's the knowing what to do with the ball when it's hit your way. These are the things that college coaches will also be very interested in seeing if your son stacks up against the competition when it comes down to that sixth tool. But what tool are we really building for, right? Because a lot of high school baseball players are doing the Notes app workout program, which is the Notes app workout program is exactly what I did. And it's the reason that I was spinning my wheels throughout my sophomore and senior year of high school by doing a lot of hard work. There's no question about it. I was developing like a freak in the gym, doing 2-a-days, but I was just doing all of the wrong stuff that once I stepped foot on a college campus at NC State, that's when I realized I wasn't doing baseball specific movements at all, right? I wasn't incorporating my core. I wasn't incorporating any rotational movements. And this really hurt me and made me feel like I was behind the 8 ball my freshman year of college. Some of you guys and some of you parents, your son's not even gonna get that opportunity to play in college because the lack of his development and his structure. And these are the areas that I just want you guys to understand are important when we're talking about the college recruiting process, because how you're growing within your skill development, this matters for these college coaches to recruit your son. It's not about just grabbing a new profile on NCSA or field level and that's gonna help your son get recruited. It's about building a plan, a full circle plan, not only on the physical side, but also on the recruiting side. So if I was going through the college recruiting process and trying to get committed, these are probably the 2 most important tools that can really separate yourself. So, and I really want to put the emphasis on, and don't take this the wrong way, it is very easy to separate yourself as a high school baseball player, or if you're the parent watching this, if your son's in high school, this is the easiest opportunity for him to separate himself. It's never going to be easier than it is today, because next year your son's going to be a junior. Next year, he's gonna be a senior. Next year, he's gonna be competing with 21-year-old kids. Let's say he spends 3 years in college and gets drafted and plays professional baseball like I did for 7 years. Now you're competing with 28-year-olds that have been training like this since they were 4 or 5 years old. It's never going to get easier. From my experiences, from my knowledge of playing 3 years at the D1 level, from my time of playing 7 years of pro ball and being in the World Baseball Classic, I always love to say I'm batting 1,000 in the World Baseball Classic because I'm hitting one. I went 1 for 1. But either way, those opportunities made me realize back in high school is the best opportunity to really separate yourself, especially on the physical side. So before I keep just going on tangents and saying a lot of words, what would I focus on? I'd focus on my bat and I'd focus on my arm. Like, those are the 2 most important ones that will really drive the needle for your son. I will say the easiest one to work on is really your 60-yard dash time and your overall athleticism, your running abilities, right? That doesn't take any nets, it doesn't take any baseballs, it doesn't take fancy gym equipment, it doesn't take any of that, guys. And parents will probably resonate with this a lot. A lot of you high school baseball players put yourself in this mindset that you need the nicest this, you need the nicest gym, you need the highest quality gym instructor or private. You don't need any of that. You don't even need me, right? There's more than one way to get a college commitment. And I'm not saying that I guarantee any of that or anything like that, but there's more than one way, right? And I've had family members tell me like, hey, I'm gonna do this on my own. I'm like, cool, I did it on my own too. It's possible, but again, are we trying to shortcut from all the failures that I made throughout my journey, right? That's the reason why I built out the Mendoza Baseball Academy, is because I wanna be able to help you not create your own scars, but learn from mine. That's the whole purpose of why I do everything within the Mendoza Baseball Academy. So yes, there's more than one way to get it done, right? If you focus on your 60-yard dash time, again, which doesn't require anything but the desire of running, the desire of working hard, the desire of doing sprints each and every day. And it doesn't even take like an hour, guys. It takes like 20 minutes. That's what I instruct all my students to do inside my academy. So if you're telling me, or if you're telling yourself that you're too busy to get faster, I really want you to challenge that thought, because you really aren't that busy. Sacrifice 20 minutes of sleep. If you're really that busy, sacrifice 20 minutes of sleep and see what's gonna happen. Because if you sacrifice that time and you get faster, it's a well worth sacrifice, guys. And if you don't take that sacrifice and you never get better, of course, you're gonna live with regret. I actually heard a really good and powerful quote the other day. You think the cost of success is high, wait until you see the bill of regret. And I think that is just such a powerful quote that really embodies everything about high school baseball and the ability to make a sacrifice, but not only just make a sacrifice, say that you want to make a sacrifice, and then actually take the action and make that sacrifice. There's so many people that say and not enough people that really do. And that's my problem. If I went on a little bit of a rant, that's my problem with high school athletes, and most importantly the parents, because I think the parents are equally as guilty as the athlete, because the parent will say, yes, we want to work hard, we want to do this, we've been trying to do this. Okay, well, what have you actually done that tells me that you've actually tried to send an email? Oh, well, we've been trying for the past couple of weeks. What does that mean? Have you clicked send? Okay, you haven't clicked. Okay, so have you actually really tried? Because all I know from, again, my playing experience, it takes failure and mentally being prepared for the failure to really classify yourself as trying. You're trying, you're taking the action, you're taking the leap, and there's just so many people that say that they want to try and basically never do. It's one of my favorite quotes from Star Wars that Yoda said, you either do or you do not. There is no try. So if I had to summarize, building the right tools, number one, the focus of the easiest one is focusing on your foot speed, your overall athleticism. The two that drive the needle furthest in the recruiting process and for college coaches to really recognize your son are going to be his throwing abilities, his arm strength, and his power abilities. All right, next up, building a target list. And by the way, I have a free course on how to reach out to college baseball coaches. It's called the 7 Steps. You probably saw a little promo already on this video, but I actually have a video detailing this in great depth, so definitely go check that out. But building a school list, guys, it's going to be all unique. This is not a cookie cutter process by any means. I studied aerospace engineering. That is something that I was very critical to make sure that they had that available in my search, right? I knew for a fact I didn't want to go to a Florida State, which, by the way, they were very interested in me, but they also told me that they had aerospace engineering. When I did research, they did not offer aerospace engineering. So also do your research. Don't trust everyone out there, especially college coaches, right? Because they're going to be very selfish in wanting certain players because of their, possibilities and their projections of, what kind of talent and what kind of wins are going to be able to be produced from this individual. And maybe they were getting greedy. Maybe it was just because my high school coach was pretty close to Mike Martin, senior. But at the end of the day, you have to do your research, and your school list is going to depend on you. That's what it comes down to. The location, the division level, of course, that skill level, that's going to be something that's, more on where you could be placed, and also most importantly, where you're going to be able to be playing. Guys, I don't want you to land a scholarship to go play at Tennessee, but you're not really playing at Tennessee, you're benching at Tennessee, right? Like that's not going to help anybody out, and especially with your development, that's not going to help you out whatsoever. So that leads me into step number 4, doing outreach to these college coaches with intention, being meticulous about the details, because that's going to really separate yourself between the rest of the competition and then you're way up here, or maybe you're on that short list of, hey, wow, this kid really impressed me. He did his homework on who I was. And that's where it's important to personalize these emails. We do not ever want to copy and paste the same email to every single college coach that we're reaching out to, because that's just going to scream, I'm desperate, I don't care about the details, I take the shortcuts. And that's not what you or your son embodies, right? You feel comfortable with doing that extra hard work. You feel comfortable with taking that sacrifice and that leap by doing additional homework. We're putting in more work. I'll never forget the president of the St. Louis Cardinals talked to us during spring training. I think it was my first or second year when I was with them. You have to put that sweat equity. Basically every single day. If you're not sweating, you're not putting in the work, you're not basically doing what you need to do to achieve the dreams that you said that you wanted to do. That's the sweat equity that he was mentioning, and doing that homework of who you're emailing, making sure that it's personalized. These are all things that are very, very important when we're talking about trying to earn a baseball scholarship, guys. There's 7% of all high school baseball players will have the slight opportunity of playing at that next level. There's probably about 2% that will actually play and maybe even earn a scholarship to the Division I level, right? So these scholarship opportunities, they're slipping by every day, because there's more opportunities today than there will be tomorrow, as far as, talking about college scholarship money. This money doesn't just, pop up and grow on money trees for these college athletic programs, right? And especially baseball program usually isn't funded like crazy. So they have a finite amount of scholarships that they're able to hand off. And once they're gone, right? So don't feel like waiting is the answer. And because you stuck around this long, I'm gonna actually give you 2 bonus steps.
Real quick, guys, I've got something special for you, for all being loyal watchers here on YouTube. I built a step-by-step free course called the 7 Steps on how to reach out to college baseball coaches the right way. It's for parents of uncommitted sophomores through seniors who want a real roadmap instead of guessing. Inside, I show you how overlooked players land offers, how to write the right email, how to use my exact template, building that right school list, and how to personalize, send, follow up, and stay organized. It's simple, it's structured, and it works. So go ahead and grab it down below in the description or at MendozaBaseballAcademy.com/7 steps. That's MendozaBaseballAcademy.com/7 steps.
So number 5, we're going to be talking about playing at the right showcase or evaluation event, right? And I like to just group this into one, right? Camps, showcases, tournaments, these are all evaluation events. You're getting evaluated by hopefully a college coach when you're in attendance to one of these evaluation events. If you're going to a tournament and there's no college coaches, you're not at an evaluation event, you're at a baseball game. Simple as that. If you're at a showcase and they labeled it as a showcase, you're getting your metrics, all that's great. But if there's no college coaches in attendance, you're just getting your metrics, which in all honesty, you probably could have paid $50 at a facility to rent it out for 30 minutes, get your arm velocity, get your exit velocity, and you could have very easily, for free, ran a 60-yard dash in a straight line on a football field, turf, and timed yourself, right? So if you're at a perfect game showcase and there's clipboard, there's college coaches, there's MLB scouts, guys, yes, that is an opportunity to get seen, to get on radars. But we want to make sure that we're primed up for that, especially when we're talking junior and senior year. I will say my first ever showcase, because this is one of the questions that I get asked just about every single day from parents, when should we do these showcases? Well, if you're doing it freshman year, yes, there's benefits of doing that, but not necessarily benefits of going to the perfect game and the most expensive ones. The one that I went to was a one-day event. It was very unofficial, really. It was no college coaches or anything like that in attendance. But I got my metrics and I realized I ran a 9.5 second 60, and I felt so ashamed that I was so far behind the rest of the competition. So that made me really put that fire under me to realize I need to put in some more work. I am not as good as I thought I was up here, because I think that's the delusion that so many high school baseball players have. You think you're so great, and that's awesome. You probably are, but you have to have the humility to be able to want more. I have conversations just about every single day. Oh, well, he doesn't need to work on anything. Okay, so why is he even like going to the gym? Why is he going to the cage? He has to be focusing on working on something, because that's when the mental side's also going to be clashing into the physical. If we think we're the greatest, but then we have a stretch of failures, if we're in a slump, if we reach a varsity level and then all of a sudden the velocity of the pitching is that much faster and we're having a hard time adjusting, this is where it's like a whiplash of, oh wait, I'm not that good. And ideally I don't want that to happen to you guys or your son at the junior or senior year, because that is going to be the opportunity for him to get on college coaches' radars, not to develop. He needs to be developing throughout high school, ideally sooner than later, but getting that realization of where your son stands at a showcase can be definitely beneficial. And finally, step number 6. This is another bonus step. This is probably the one that moves the needle the furthest. Have your son build the right habits from day one, right? If your son's habits look like this, he gets home from school, he's on his phone for an hour scrolling through TikTok and Instagram, he's watching YouTube videos, and no disrespect to YouTube videos, but if he's creating that habit of playing video games, those are the habits that are going to compound, and this is the developmental time of the years of what he's going to be doing today. And for these years of 13 years old to 16 years old, these are basically what he's priming himself to do for the rest of his life. If he's priming himself to be lazy, to cut corners, and to hang out with friends, I'm going to be transparent with you guys. Yes, your son can hang out with friends every single day, but in that friend group, how many are going to play professional baseball? How many are going to play Division I baseball? How many are going to earn a baseball scholarship? If I had to guess, if it's a friend group of 5 people, if I'm just shooting you guys straight, probably none. There might be one that earns a scholarship, not necessarily at the Division I level, but why are we putting ourselves in environments for, basically to hang out or to play some basketball or to do this or to do that? Guys, that's not going to be the environment for players to be able to play and excel and play at that next level. Speaking from experience, like I'll never forget the joy that I had inside my heart on a Friday night. I'll never forget this, on a Friday night in the fall when football season was going on. And I just always had the joy knowing that so many of my classmates, so many of my teammates are at the football game, having a good time, being a kid, being a teenager. These are all things that parents will tell me that they need to do, right? And yes, they can do that and also play in college. They can also play professional baseball while doing those things. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach, and I think a lot of high school baseball parents want me to say that when it's really not. But we have to think about the bigger picture of what habits are we creating and what are we sacrificing in that process. If we're not sacrificing anything and we just do whatever we want to do and whatever makes us happy, these are the things that are ultimately going to lead, your son to, some failure potentially down the road. So, and I definitely don't want that for either you or your son. And that's where I built out the Mendoza Baseball Academy. And if you guys are interested, down below in the description, there are going to be a couple of resources that you can grab. You can either go to my website, learn about basically who we are, what we do, how we could possibly help, and then you can schedule out an eligibility review with either myself or a team member. Or you can go ahead and grab that 7 steps on how to reach out to college baseball coaches the right way. It's a complete course, so that way you have that. It's great, it's simple, it's structured, and most importantly, it works. So go grab either of one of those down below. And of course, if you're ready to get started inside my remote training program where I'm your son's mentor, making sure that he's building those correct habits, getting on college coaches' radars, and also developing like a pro while doing it, you can click the link down below to get that process started.